Maybe we'll go live on YouTube as well. I'm trying. Yay, we are live. So I appreciate you coming on in. I've had some oopsies that way. We've been trying to get the YouTube back up again. My channel over there is Prairie Scraps as well. So I'm Prairie Scraps on Facebook, Prairie Scraps on YouTube. We are in the event for the DIY Arts and Crafts room, and I don't know why I'm not seeing comments. I really wish I was. So if you say hello, tell me happy Memorial Day or something. Put some stars up, since it's I have my stars, all my stars shirt on. It's the Stars and Stripes event. I see stuff all over. And I'm really excited because I'm going to do some redo, kind of refinish a piece. A couple weekends ago, I went to a citywide rummage sale. And I found 2 of these frames. Aren't these amazing? They're massive. They're very heavy. I think the inset is like 10 by 10. There you go. You can see it. Isn't this a fabulous find? So this is what it looked like when I got it. It does not have an insert whatsoever. It's just the plain. And it does have some, little dings on the corners. Maybe this one. The other one that we're going to use today actually had some dings on the corners. So I knew that I had to do something to do a little fix up. So far I have gone through. This was the exact same way. And I spray painted this last night so that I have a nice even coat on this. And I'm going to set that aside because we're going to do some things to that. But I cut out a piece of cardboard. You guys, whenever I get surfaces from Chalk Couture, I go ahead and save all of the boards. I have boards everywhere. You can kind of see maybe over here, boards everywhere. And so then I cut this out. All I did was I traced around it, cut it out. I'm not so great with the scissors on it. Cardboard is hard to cut with the scissors. But I did use an X-Acto knife. Also, I'm not great at cutting straight, but that's okay. It doesn't show. I just needed it to go in there. So now we're going to use this as a template to cut out our surface that we're going to use in this frame. The paint that I used is this Rustoleum chalked paint. I used it is in the color charcoal. I actually used it in my house. I have a fancy, great big, ginormous mirror that I spray painted, and then we did some touch up on it too. So I will show you that back in a minute. But in the meantime, we're going to create our project. So first of all, I'm taking a piece of chalk suede paper, and I had this sitting on top. Look at that. So that paint doesn't exactly seal. You'll want to put a wax on it or something. You can see I got it all over the back side of this. We're going to use this other side. So I'm just going to put my square on here, trace around it, and cut it out. If you wanted to use paper trimmers, you certainly could. That might work better. So hopefully, I don't know, Tarina, if you are on here, thank you for sharing out and for putting this event together. It's a holiday weekend. Do you guys have big holiday plans? I know I've been checking in with the other ladies a little bit and not always seeing we are like, so I just took a pen and did around the edge. We're going to cut that now. I have been listening and kind of peering in when I can because my husband has us working. He told us we had no choice. We have to work this weekend. And that included me, I think. So I don't know. No, actually, he's working on my project. So you guys will have to let me know if you want to see the end project or not. I have an old bathtub, an old cast iron bathtub that came out of my house. It's not like with the feet and everything. That I would save and try to re-put into my my house. But in this case, it did not. It's super deep, so it uses a lot of water. And so we decided to put in a newer tub with a little less water because this is in the kids' bathroom. So when we were remodeling. So I'm going to use the clean side first. And we are going to use a couple of different transfers to do this one. I actually kind of stole this idea from a friend of mine. And then I know that Miss Tarina, she also did her own version of this. So I apologize. I am going to copycat her. That's the great thing about, oh, I forgot to get out paste. I was so busy trying to do all the technical stuff. I forgot about paste. I am going to do, good. I've got nominee here. I'm kind of going to copy pretty closely to what everybody else did. And that's the great thing about being a designer. With Chalk Couture is that you can copy Copy. You get all kinds of ideas. I was thinking about this the other day. I was talking to Miss Tarina about doing the 100-day challenge of 100 days of creativity. And I was kind of overwhelmed by that thought because actually the word creativity kind of scares me a little bit. So I appreciate if you guys are doing comments and things. If you have questions, I will go back and answer them. For whatever reason, I am not seeing those at all. So I appreciate you. Just keep up the interest, put some stars down there for me for the holidays. Whatever you can do to just keep this in the forefront. Don't ask me why it doesn't work for me. It has been all the rest of the time. I don't know. So this is what I'm going to use for the background is called Weavin, like chalkin, Weavin. But anyway, it is a 12 by 18 transfer. And can you see that? Isn't that detail amazing? It's a kind of a basket weave. So we need to, first of all, get this fuzz because it is a brand new transfer and I don't want it to stick too hard to our piece of paper here. I'm using chalk suede paper, which I don't think is available anymore. I think it's kind of gone out. But that's okay. You could use a piece of, you could use whatever's in your frame. You could use a piece of watercolor paper if you wanted instead. So anyway, I'm going to just get this fuzzed. It is a little harder, so I put the sticky side up and just laid it on my table here so that I can get this fuzzed up nicely. The first time you use a transfer, you do want to fuzz it really nicely because you don't, especially like paper or glass or anything really smooth, you want to make sure that it doesn't stick too hard to it and wreck your paper and wreck your transfer. None of those things are good. So if you use watercolor paper for this instead of the chalk suede paper, or you could probably even use scrapbook paper. I've definitely done that myself to go in. Or I've even used that piece of cardboard that I cut out. I've just gone ahead and painted the background, whatever I wanted it. But since I had chalk suede paper on hand, that's what I'm going to use. I love using the chalk suede because it is just made, it's like butter. It's like butter. It's just made for doing this. So I think I'm going to put my surface down on this and then put my backing over it. And I'm just going to, I don't want it to look cockeyed and everything. Uh-oh. Now my daughter is going to start doing, she's been working all day on doing the grass trimming around everything. She's the one who's graduating. Speaking of, Michelle is having graduation this week. We are having graduation the end of June because we are homeschoolers, so we can do it whenever we want. And we are budding up to our 4th of July celebrations in town so that when people from out of town come, they can actually come to our rodeo border day. It's called Border Days celebrations in town. There's just lots of things going on in town. So it's a nice time to have my mom come from Wisconsin. So I'm excited about that. All right, so I'm putting this down, making sure I don't have any sort of wrinkles or anything on it. You can see it. And I've got the backing behind it. The backing is still there. So I sort of like sandwiched my paper in there. So like I said, you could use scrapbook paper. You could use, I'm trying to decide how to do this. Okay, that works. Duh. I'm going to use some Nominee, which is one of our great, probably one of my favorites. I love this even more than Gold Shimmer, because it's just nice and smooth. It's more of a metallic. And one of our squeegees and just put it on here. So like I said, I just sandwiched it in between here so that I had the backing kind of there to protect my surface. It just makes it easier. It doesn't get all tangled up when I want. But you could also, this is like, you can keep, it's got a repeating pattern, meaning if you need to go end to end with it, you know, you just line up this end with this end or vice versa or up and down as well, which is amazing because if you're like me, I cannot get things lined up like I like them. So this end to end, Chalk Couture has just started doing that. And that is amazing. So anyway, I was back to the creativity thing. I was talking to Miss Tarina about creativity and I was thinking to myself, isn't it funny that like I'm a designer and make all kinds of craft things, but I like the word creative makes me like feel weird. I don't feel like I'm creative at all. So, it's so weird. I don't think I'm creative. I like to copy people. So this is definitely a copy from one of my designer friends. And then Miss Tarina also copied it, which was, makes me feel a little more confident about copying somebody too. So ultimately, I'm always looking for ideas and I don't have them all. I just use others. So I hope if you do something in this similar, or like I know that the transfer I'm going to use after this, actually Miss Wendy was using on a t-shirt. I also think all of these are going to work great on t-shirts. So if you are interested in being a designer, it is only $10 this month. So let me know, or let your designer know, whoever invited you to this event. That would be great. Oh, shoot. Guess what? It is stuck to my paper there. All right. I'm just going slow here to peel it off because my corner was coming apart. And I don't know. Maybe I should have waxed. You can also wax your paper. You should definitely wax wood. If you're not using, I've never actually had this paper have a problem. So I'm kind of shocked that trying to hold it down without smearing. But you do want to work quickly with the chalk paste. And this is sticking. This is why you want to, oh, my fingers are getting all on the side here. This is why you want to go ahead and make sure that you work fast to get it off. And also you can wax, and you want to fuzz your transfer really well when you use paper. So you get to learn from me today. All right. I am like, this whole edge is getting my fingerprints on it. It is so tight. And this is definitely going to stretch my transfer. So I am going to get this almost off. And then I might try to lay this back down a little bit and get that edge again. Or we could rough it up. All right. Lay it back. Oh, that's not going to do it exactly. Okay. Well, it is what it is. We got some fingerprints. We got some fingerprints here. All right. Not too bad. Maybe I'll put it down at the bottom. I want to show you that it's not dry. You see, I got my fingers in it, and we might just be okay with it. Maybe I'll just dab it a little bit to get it off. All right. That is not good for your transfer to stretch it that hard. So just know to like maybe do 10 or 12 like fuzzes. I only did a couple. So, all right, we're going to set that aside. This is washable. You can use it up to 12 times. I'm telling you, if you take good care of it, you'll probably use it even more than that. But I'm going to set it aside, and we will wash that as soon as we are done here. And I'm going to continue on. First, I am going to get I do have a little bit of a dark smear here that I want to kind of just dab off. The cool thing about this chalk suede is that, and this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go around and just sort of dab in a couple of other places so it looks like it's on purpose. I'm just using a wipe here to dab. It doesn't look so much like fingerprints. I went kind of heavy there, so I got excited about dabbing everywhere. Okay, I think it's not going to matter. I think it's going to be, so there you go. This is the side I did with my fingers. You can kind of see and it's shiny. It's nominee. So now I'm going to take and make sure this is really good and dry. And probably this next step, I'm going to go ahead and do a little wax on it in between layers. So the other time, besides on wood or on paper, you do want to wax really good underneath on your surfaces to seal them up so that your project doesn't get all smeary. It's still pretty wet. See my fingers? I'm all glittery and goldy. Isn't that fun? But at least, hey, it's not really glitter. It's actually metallic, this nominee is. I love it. So we are doing projects. We decided since we have graduation coming up, and we're going to do our graduation and graduation party in our yard. So I want all the beds weeded. I want, everything to look top shape. So we have the girls, actually the 18-year-old, the one who's graduating, she's been a little more cooperative for working outside, but she knows it's for her, right? Who doesn't love working for yourself? No, I do. Okay, let's see if we have, I want to use Prairie. Candy apple, but I don't want that bright. The other one I was looking for is home, and I cannot figure out why I can't find that. Things got moved around here. Got moved around. It's not in here, is it? These are greens. Greens are out. Okay. We're going to have lots more gold to go around here, too. So stay tuned. It's going to get even better. But I love this. This is just going to be like a background for me. Oh, I found it. We're going to use a home to do our spill the tea. And then I'm looking for my cherry. So I'm hoping I have some of that here on hand. You could use candy apple red as well. Oops. But I want to use cherry because it's just a little deeper. Aha. Maybe I don't have a whole lot. Aha. I know a couple of times I've grabbed something else. Right. Jolene is kind of pink. Maybe Napa is the color. I don't know. I'm grabbing a backup color. You could use candy apple red if you want. That's the other red we have. That would work as well. Okay. Get my act together, right? Okay. So first, before we go ahead and do the next transfer on here, I want this to stay intact. I don't want it to come apart when I'm peeling off a new transfer. And a lot of times, I want to tell you kind of a trick that I use to make sure that I that my transfers are kind of fuzzed really good for the first time. One of my tricks is I like to use my transfers the first time on shirts to make a shirt, which is really cool. Because that kind of naturally fuzzes it. You don't have to fuzz it to make a shirt because it is a fuzzing process. So I'm just putting a really light coat of the wax on here. Hopefully that won't. It will just keep that, seal it in, keep what I've got here going. So there you go. You can see, isn't that beautiful? You can kind of see that shine, that shimmer. Is that pretty? Okay. So the next thing we're going to do is I have loved this since it came out. It's kind of vintagey looking, but it says spill the tea. And then it says since 1773, so long London. Cute, cute, cute transfer. I love the fact that it's kind of tongue-in-cheek, kind of silly, but yet very serious, right? This is what got us our freedoms. And we're going to start out with a really good version of fuzzing for sure, now that we've learned our lesson the hard way. So our project this weekend that we are trying to get done, besides, all the mowing and the trimming and all that kind of stuff, is this old bathtub that we took out of our bathroom when we remodeled it, and we're putting it in the back. I decided, since it sat in my driveway for a long time, I wanted to make it into a water garden. We're trying for a water garden, but nobody in the area sells water plants. So if you know where to get water plants, if you've ever done it online, tell me, because I need to get some in. But we're getting the bathtub like leveled out. We've been digging all morning, trying to put this in. It's going to be by my shade garden, putting the bathtub in. And I've actually got the old sink too that was in that bathroom. It's going to hang over. We have a pump, so we're going to have water flow up through the faucet, in the sink, and then out into the tub. So that is the goal. And then eventually get some different plants going in there too. So, all right. So that's what we've been working on. Digging. I'm going to put this backing again underneath this because I want to make sure that I don't go, if I don't know that this will fit exactly. I want to give room. I think the stars at the bottom are not going to fit. So I'm going to center it with the Spilling the Tea and So Long London. All right. And I don't know what order I'm going to do this all in, but I'm kind of excited about this one. I haven't used this one yet. I think it's going to be fun. So like I said, I'm doing some copying. So I'll turn this around so you can see it nicely here. Hopefully that'll work. And I'm going to use home. I don't know if you guys saw, we have all kinds of deals for Memorial Day weekend. Surfaces are buy one, get one half off. It's awesome. It's a good time to get some surfaces. And I think I saw something about home has come back. So it was a color of the month, and it is this beautiful, yummy blue. Isn't that yummy? All right. I am going to use a mini squeegee for this because I kind of want to just get the ship, I think. Oh, that's too many for me. That's too many. Okay. Maybe I won't do that one yet. I was going to do the ship in blue for sure, and I want to do the flags in red. So maybe I'll start with the red. I don't know. I'm changing my mind. I like to go from one side to the other when I do, because we're going to do some peel and paste. And what I mean by that is I'm going to put down a little bit of section of paste, peel it back so it doesn't get too dry, and then move on to the next section. So that's my plan, and I am sticking to it. We're going to see. Oh, I really do not have cherry. That is out. There is nothing there. It is dried up. So that is not a thing for me. I think we're going to have to go with Napa, which was another one of our color of the months. So if you haven't gotten involved in our color of the months, check it out. They are so fun. So I'm going to do some little sections here, I think. I'm going to start with the Napa on these flags. And this is a little, maybe not the most ideal color because it is a little bit on the burgundy side. And I'm just going to do these ship flags here with my tool. Like I said, I usually like to start from the very top, but I don't know. We're just doing it different today. And then the other thing I think we're going to do is this Scent 1776 in this color. Oops, I guess I'm doing the whole thing. Goodbye to So Long London. I'm just going to do the whole lettering in this color because I hit it up by accident. So we're just going to do it. Get it covered and then take off any extra, put it back in the bin. It's okay. We can use it later. No worries. All right, here we go. Let's see how that works. And we are going to peel the top because that is the most dry at this point. Nice and slow. We can always fix it. There we go. We just got a couple little flags. Can you see that? Just a couple little flags. It really looks like nothing so far, doesn't it? Nothing. Okay, and then I'm just going to leave that kind of loose there. That looks great since 1773. So Long London. Isn't that pretty? Looks so nice. So I'm not going to press on that. I think the next part we'll do is this top portion, the Spill the Tea. And we'll kind of decide what to do for the rest. I know I want the ship in blue because I kind of want this to be stars and stripes. And like I said, I love that t-shirt that Wendy was making. I love that. I think I'm going to do the Spill the Tea in Nominee. That kind of rhymes. Spill the Tea. Nominee. Oh, by the way, do you love iced tea? I love iced tea. I'm having actually a half and half. Let's have some tea before we spill the tea. A little drink. That was like left over from my trip. Last week we went on an anniversary trip. So speaking of America, saw all of America. Oh, at least the West Coast. We went to the Grand Canyon. I mean, I'm telling you, here we live in America. We are so blessed. We went to the Grand Canyon. We went to Arches National Park, and we went to um, whatchamajigger, Canyonlands. I almost said this morning. I said Candylands. Canyonlands National Park. We also stopped at the Golden Spike National Monument. I'm gonna hold off. There's stars around here around the edge. I don't know if I want to do them gold or if I want to do them in red and blue. I'm not sure. I haven't decided. Maybe blue. I don't know. I don't know. Can't make up my mind yet. All right, we're gonna get this peeled. Haven't totally decided, but so beautiful. We have such a beautiful country, especially out here, out west. Just love it. I live in Idaho, and so going down to Utah and all the way down to Arizona was just a wonderful trip. It was cold and rainy and under 40 degrees the whole week we were gone here in Idaho. And literally we got to the Hoover Dam and it was 105. Holy cow, hot. Isn't that beautiful? You can still see the spilling the tea, even though it's the same as the background. I love that color on color. Okay, now let's work on the ship. Let's build a ship. I think this is going to be really cool. All right. And I'm going to use the mini squeegee for this one, and we're using home for this. I've still got more with that frame, so we are good for time, so I can take my time here. I'm not always good about doing like small areas. I just and multi-colors. I'm kind of a farmhouse kind of girl. I like the vintage look for sure. And I tend to stay with like grays, blacks, browns. You know, I don't know. Why am I so dark? I don't know. I love watching Michelle. I'm always fascinated by what Michelle is making over at Embellish something. I always just look up Embellish and she comes up for me when I'm looking for her. But she was on first this morning and she was doing some great t-shirt work. Not t-shirt, actually. Her jean shirt she bleached. Anyway, I'm always fascinated by all the colors and all the things she's doing and all the transfers she can pull together. But I'm like, holy cow, I'm lost on about the second transfer. So there is that. Okay. So, I did these little flags in that burgundy, and we've kind of got like a little American flag right there. I wonder if they did the right number of stars. Because I think 1773, didn't we only have does anybody know? Here's your quiz for the day. Do you know how many colonies they were? I'm just going to try to nudge a little blue on top of the red here and see if I can't make it look a little bit more like an American flag. I don't know. It might not work. Worth a try. You could always like wash it out and then retry again. Okay, set that aside. And let's see how we did. All right. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I think you could not mess up this ship whatsoever. It is so beautiful. So beautiful. Isn't that beautiful? Let me get this stuck down here. I'll hold it up so you can see. Oh my goodness. And I think my American flag a little bit worked with the blue. You can kind of see it. Oh my goodness. How gorgeous is that ship? Unbelievable. Now, before I do anything more to wreck it, I am going to dry it, so I apologize. So we got the ground all dug out for our bathtub and put it in. This sounds crazy. I had to go pick up some rock at the local like materials place, landscaping materials place, and I'm like, I need some rock so that it'll drain because I'm putting in a water garden in a bathtub, and I need the rock underneath it so that we have a little bit of drainage because we have really hard clay-ish type of soil underneath it. I'm afraid if we unstop the tub and try to drain out the tub at any point, it's not going to drain. It's going to just stop up. So we're putting rock in. The look the guy gave me was like, you are nuts. I know. I'm like, I know it's kind of a nuts. project, but that's me. I like to do fun, you know, I had a little tiny, like, I don't know, maybe 18-inch round water feature in my house, at my house in Wisconsin. And I almost cried because we moved here in January and it was buried in the snow and I could not get it out. All right. I think we're going to do these little stars in red, in the red color. So I just think it will add in a little extra. So let's get our tool back out here and get Napa out here. So anyway, oh, that's the wrong one. That is the wrong one, Dory. So I've been super sad. We've been here 13 years and we've actually been in this house now, I don't know, 7 years. Wow, time flies when you're having fun. But so anyway, I was really sad to leave my water feature. I was sad to leave a lot of my plants, to be honest. And I'm excited to have a water feature again. We'll be having running water. It's just nice to go in the backyard and listen to the water trickling. Like on Memorial Day weekend, it would be wonderful. We have beautiful weather. It's like 73. What does it say? I guess mine doesn't say here. Sometimes it says here on my computer. It doesn't today. But make sure that you go into the DIY Arts and Crafts room and check it out. Join the group and also follow all the ladies that are in this great event today because they always have such great ideas. Like I said, they're my go-to people for giving me ideas. So we're going to put that back and we're going to peel nice and slow. I think if you peel slow enough and if you made a little boo-boo, you can always lay it back down and try to fix it right away. Ooh, I like that red. I love it, love it, love it. I am loving it. Oh my goodness. This is exciting. I also know that this would be a great one to make for a Father's Day gift. If you have a guy that's kind of patriotic guy, this would make a one. I'm looking for my backing and it's under my thing here. It would make a great Father's Day t-shirt and you could just do one plain color. You wouldn't even have to do anything fancy or anything, or do it all in blue or do it all in black, whatever you know, trips your trigger. That would be totally doable. Let me get the paste off my fingers here. Before I touch this again and put fingerprints on it. But anyway, this would also work not just for patriotic, but oh my gosh, how pretty is that ship? How beautiful is that ship? Love, love, love it. It has so much beautiful detail. I'm telling you what, the designers for chalk just hit it out of the ballpark with this one. But I think guys would really love it because it's kind of like a little more guyish. Like sometimes, you know, my husband would wear the Oh My Stars t-shirt, but he would love this. He would love this. So, all right. So we have that done. I'm going to set this aside. Remember, I have the cardboard cut out here. This is what it's going to go on. Hopefully this fits in. I might have to trim it a little. I can feel it's a little bit bigger than what is needed. We are going to get our frame back out here and do a little zhuzhing on it, as Miss Trina would say. She is a zhuzhing queen. I think that's who says that all the time. Make sure that you're interacting. Tell me. I will go back and answer all the questions as soon as we are done here. And guess what? I kind of got out of the cleanup and get everything ready. My husband's going to be ready to go. We're going to see the grandkids tonight and babysit. It's our first time. My husband goes last night. We have a almost 4-year-old, a 2-year-old, and a newborn 3-month-old. And it's my daughter and son-in-law's anniversary next weekend, but we're going to babysit tonight for them to go out to lunch. So I'm going to use this gold gilding wax on this frame to kind of get it zhuzhed up. I know that remember what the frame looked like. I don't know if you saw this in the beginning. This was the other frame. I got 2 of these. You can see it's got kind of like black. It's kind of similar, but we're updating it. The gold that they used to use on those isn't as nice. This is a really massive frame, actually. It's very heavy. Very heavy. I was going to look and see if it had a hanger. It's the weirdest frame. Like, where did the glass go and where did the hanger go and where did the backing go? Like, how do people mix those up? I don't understand. I don't understand. So anyway, we're going to use the gold gilding wax, and I kind of wish we do have some of this chameleon wax as well, and I only have cactus, and I didn't think that would match up with my piece so much. And obviously we use the nominee, so we're kind of in the gold department at this point. But I am going to use this, if I can get it open. That's always the deal. I need a key. Well, the scissors does work. I need one of those keys. A lot of times, okay, so this stuff, this gold gilding wax from Dixie Belle, we carry this, so get with your designer so if you want this. Little tiny container, but look, I've done so much gilding. I did a great ginormous mirror in my house with this. I have done signs around the outdoors, and I'm telling you, you don't, a little dab will do you. So I'm just actually going to use my finger. I put it on there, and I am just going to start light. This is actually very permanent. You're not going to get it off. You can use some mineral oil to kind of brush it down, but you want to go light to begin with, and then you can always go darker. So that's what we're doing. We're just going to, I don't know if you can see that, but I'm just going to brush it on the raised parts. You can't get it. When I first started, I was hoping I could get it into the inside, you know, like in the indents. It's actually for the raised part is what you want to do. You can use this on like knobs, your doorknob, you know, like little doorknobs and things. And it, once it dries, it's going to be absolutely permanent. It is a wax. So I did use it on my black sign out in my front. I have a little hanging welcome sign that's iron, and it worked great to bring it out. I kind of demoed on it last year, but I've noticed like it needs a new coat again this year because I think the wax must like melt and kind of leave as time goes on. But I'm just kind of going light, and then you can always add more. You can't really take it off unless you use mineral oil. I think I've got some in here. Maybe not in here, maybe in the house, because I kind of went heavy right there. I don't necessarily love that there. And like I said, to coat this first, I actually started with this Rustoleum chalk spray paint in charcoal. That's what I used. And honestly, I did this, you know, did a touch up. I did one coat and then did a touch up just around the corners because I missed the corners. You do want to make sure you don't want this on your clothes at all, because this, like I said, this is a little stinky. So if you don't like the smell, I don't know, in the house, this maybe isn't a better project to do a little bit outside. I don't know. I don't mind it. It's not like toxic where you're dying. And it's obviously not too toxic because I'm able to use it on my fingers here. It's just fine. Do you see that? So now I've gone like around this little edge around the outside. I don't know if you can see that. I know it's really subtle. And now there's like even like around, I'm sorry, this is kind of awkward, but do you see there's like one little ridge right around the outside edge, and then there's a smaller ridge even further down on the very outside edge. That's what I'm going to try to hit up next. I'm just going through and trying to hit all of the raised parts. And being a wax too, like as I'm doing this and going around a second time on this, I'm finding that kind of shines it up. It buffs it up. It's just like, you know, Karate Kid, wax on, wax off. So now we're going to go on this outside. And you can see I haven't even dipped my finger into the pot yet. I've exclusively been getting, I might get a little yet, but I've been exclusively getting all of my gold out just, and then once you put your finger into the jar to get more, make sure that you load it off onto the lid. That's the best spot. You can load it off onto a paper towel as well, but you might not want to because why waste it? You can have it on the lid and use it next time. That's why. All right, so I just loaded off right on the lid. Let's see where we are. Oh my gosh, 20 minutes, you guys. This went way faster. So I did all kind of a lot of like prep painting because I didn't want you to have to sit and watch me. Although I say that tongue in cheek. I always am fascinated by Tarina, but she was doing a lot of painting today. Good for her. All right. I don't know if you can see any of that. Can you see that? It's very subtle. And it's a more updated gold. When we started carrying this, I was like, why do we need gold wax? Like, isn't that something, like ancient? But this is kind of an updated version of wax, which is kind of cool. All right, I went out of the lines. I'm just kind of rubbing at it with my finger that doesn't have it on. Kind of getting the outside edge too here. I can't even see it. I'm being so subtle, I can't even see my own work. But I also know that I want to go lighter than darker because I don't want to have it. So I'm thinking about doing like these raised ones on all the way around. Can you see it? I don't know if you can see that. The different depths of it. Isn't that pretty? Like, wow. So there is, you can see, like, I like to do it a little bit uneven. Oops, I do see a little spot right there. Ooh, a lot of spots right there. I'm going to try a little wet on it, but it's really not going to come up. I can tell you that. It's pretty much once you touch it, it's not like chalk paste where you can always fix it. No, it's not the end of the world, right? If you don't do it exactly how you would like to do it. I'm just double checking around here to make sure I did this how I want it. And it's okay to like go back and add a little more, but I do know from experience, like I don't want to have to come back and remove it and then put it back on. So it's just easier. You could do it right the first time. It's just easier. We were trying to measure out our hole for our tub, and we also are trying to get it even, and it's kind of like in the side of a hill a little bit. And anyway, it's a heavy tub. It's cast iron. It's crazy heavy. All right. I'm thinking about these lines on the side. I think it will look pretty. Just how to do it. I'm just going to lightly rub on the raised parts. I don't want the holes filled necessarily, but it's not the end of the world if it is. This isn't as blaring gold, as it started out to be. That was so much gold. This is just a little bit more subtle. Always remember to kind of tap it off before you put it on. You could use a brush for this too. You don't have to just use your fingers, but I have found that it's easier to just use your fingers. You have a little bit more control about where it goes. So I'm really sad I can't see what people are saying. Do ask questions if you have questions. Kind of always load off though, even though it's just your finger. Oops, I got it in between there. I'm going to just keep turning it here so I can see it. Kind of got different lights going because I got the door open. It's beautiful outside. Like I said, 73 here in Idaho. There's a lot of people around town because we're the kind of the gateway to the outdoors in a sense. Our backyard is huge here. We have like 78% of our county is national forest. So people love to ride their sport, their ATVs and things up in the. Have you noticed ATVs have gotten just like fancier and fancier? Just crazy expensive too, especially in our area. They're not cheap at all. kind of scrubbing on it while it's still wet and it's sort of working. Maybe not always all the way. I'm trying not to get into this, like, maybe tape it off if you know for sure there's a spot you don't want to go. But I'm just kind of, I'm living on the edge, Wendy. I'm living on the edge. I'm not taping off at all. And, you know, sometimes that has a little bit of a regret that comes with it. There we go. That actually works. To go the other way kind of works a little bit better. Okay, we're getting the edge around. Third edge. So, and like I said, you know, like, I don't know if you guys remember in decor, like, this is how the frame started out. It was really heavy with that and shiny gold. This is just a little more subtle. It's not as crazy. You can do as much or as little as you want. To me, it's more like using it to just highlight, you know, just a little bit, kind of like wiping back your chalk paste and just making it look farmhouse style, but yet it's just using gold instead. So it's actually, this is going better just to run my fingers back and forth this way. I think it's looking better. I was getting like little marks on the edges here where I was going, if I went with the grain. So I'm kind of going against the grain here to get it. All right, my final side here. I kind of started on this one already. Tap it off. Don't forget to tap it off. And you kind of want to just look for the raised parts. You don't want to get every little, it's one of those things where you're trying really hard to go randomly. And I don't do random very good. I struggle with random a little bit. It's hard for me to go random, but that's the goal, is to be a little more random. We saw some fantastic, speaking of fancy frames, fantastic in the Grand Canyon artwork and fancy frames. Oh my goodness. Talk about inspiration. Some great artwork in the Grand Canyon, in the lodges. It's just amazing. And actually, we stayed in Williams at the Grand Canyon Railway Hotel, and there was some fabulous artwork there too. I'm not necessarily like, I don't know, I guess because I'm a crafter, it's kind of an artist, but I'm not like in your strictest sense, an artist that way, but I certainly can appreciate some. I can't draw. I am not a drawer. There. Okay, I think we're good. Let me hold that up for you. Let you see all the, isn't that beautiful? Holy cow. So we've got about 10 more minutes and Melanie is going to be on after me. Isn't that beautiful? So beautiful. Put a little thumbs up for me. Help me out. I know I can't see anything, but I will go back and answer all your questions. I appreciate you all being here. Make sure you go over and visit the DIY Arts and Crafts room. It's just a group of crafters. We love to craft and make pretty things. So today we're doing the Stars and Stripes event. And right before me, go back. If you didn't catch everybody, go back and make sure that you get a chance to see everybody. Let me show you that again. It's pretty subtle. I didn't do all the areas, but you can kind of see just a little bit. It's not crazy. Let me show you that before. I left one unpainted for a reason, so you could see the difference. What a great way to tone. And this one's obviously kind of dusty. It was outside, who knows how long. Not very long because it wasn't wet, but all right, let's see if I can get some of this off my fingers. It does, that is the one bad thing. It does kind of stain your fingers. I've definitely got some stuck here, but I'm pretty happy with that. I think this is really beautiful. And let me see if I think there's one side that is more right up than the other. There are, the two of these corners on this one are damaged a little bit. And so I did have thoughts about trying to fix that, fill it in with some filler, but I decided not to. A lot of times when you're just painting things a solid color, be careful about where you get this gold, by the way. It does just kind of make a mess wherever you touch things until it's completely dry. All right, hopefully this, oh boy. Maybe I have to trim it a little bit. I'm wondering where I have to trim it. Well, top to bottom for sure. Top to bottom, just a tad bit. This is what happened to my cardboard too. I was like just a little bit up on one side, and it was starting to bug, you know, like I didn't want to go too far just to get it in, but you don't want to go too little too. Okay, so top to bottom works. Now I need to go side to side. We're just going to cut here. I can kind of see where I actually went outside the line instead of inside the line. So just trim a very bit about. See, if I would have just done a straight cutter, it would have just worked out better. But, you know, too easy. Too easy. All right, let's get this in here so you can see the finished product. There we go. I think it still is kind of fat somewhere. Kind of fat. Maybe a... Boy, I tell you what, this, I can feel the background on here, and it's just the texture of that Weavin transfer. And that was actually inspired. That one was a design done by Tiffani Theissen. So if you haven't checked out our Tiffani Theissen stuff, that is so cool. One of my favorites. I love Tiffani Theissen back in the day, right? 90210, and she's got a great presence on. I'm going to do a little bit off the top again. Just a little. I just love her stuff. And like I said, I am like super kind of like farmhouse type of person. And she is just a little bit more modern, kind of funky looking. And I'm still loving all her stuff. It like lets me do, like, it's a little more orderly for the most part, like more planned colors and things, or in order. What am I trying to say? Like centered. I don't know. Anyway, it just, I don't know, there's something about it. It's just fun. And because I love her so much, it like challenged me to get a little bit outside of my style, my normal style, my farmhouse thing, which is good. Once in a while you have to do that. All right, I think we've got it. I'm going to put the white side down because in case some of it shows through. And this I did have fitting pretty tightly. You won't see the back at all. But oh my gosh, voila. How exciting is that? Let me put you up here. I appreciate you guys for being here. I'm sorry I don't know why that is. Why don't I see any of the... Isn't it? I'm here, really. It's such a giant frame. It says 10 by 10. I think that might mean that it's a 10 by 10 insert on it. I don't know. And it looks like maybe it had like, I don't know, like canvas into it. I'm not sure. But it is quite the hefty frame that I found at a thrift sale. Not bad for $5, right? Oh my gosh. How cute would this look? You could put it like in your entryway. It's a great way to just kind of change out your decor. And really, because I just popped that in with that, I could also make another one for another season if I wanted to, because definitely this frame has, you know, life in it now. Now that we've done the Dixie Belle wax on it, the gold wax, look at that. Is that cool? But if you didn't have this frame, you could definitely use, like I skipped off, there's some stars down here at the bottom that I didn't put on to this picture because it didn't fit in there. But you could definitely go ahead and do this on an 8 by 10, anything. You don't have to have the fancy frame. But if you see a fancy frame at a thrift store or thrift sale, go ahead and grab it. Isn't that gorgeous? I just think it's so much detail. Look at how much detail that has. And that nominee is like a shimmer. What do you think about that? Would you do the spilling the tea in shimmer, or would you do it in the red, or would you do it in the blue? Kind of like the shimmer. I went and studied other people's ideas and kind of decided on this. But the detail is just phenomenal. I love having the texture of that weaving in the background. This just goes to show you where this is sort of that more of a vintage look, more of your botanical type, like our botanicals have a lot of detail in them. I love that style, but I was able to take Tiffany's background and put the weaving in the back. I'm pretty sure that was a Tiffany. Let me double check, you guys. Also, be sure to nope, that's not it. Where did my plastic go? Where has my plastic gone? Don't mind me. I'm a singer. No, I'm not really. I'm a trumpet player. But anyway, don't you think that is just an amazing idea? And t-shirts. I know I've got like 4 minutes here. Make sure you go and check out everybody else. We had first up this morning. You can go back. That's the great thing about doing lives. Go back and check in on the other ladies that have done theirs. Michelle was up first thing this morning. She had a bleached. I hope I'm going to have like a line of gold across my neck forever because I'm leaning against it and I'm warm. And it's a wax, so it comes off. But anyway, and probably once this, gets done, I may take actually, that's one thing I might do is do a little bit of surface wax on it. So it's not such a dull look. That's the other way that you can cut. If you get too much of that gold gilding wax on there, if you take a clear wax, like our clear surface wax to it, you can just take it and wipe it down that way as well. So there's ways to get it off so you don't have to feel so intimidated. It may seem like kind of a small jar, but you do not need more than this. I have had this, I think we've carried it now over a year now, and I've used it on tons of different things, tons of different projects. Anytime you want to dress up like just a plain black, you could even get a Dollar Tree black frame and dress it up that way. But you can just take, what I was trying to say was you can take a clear wax and sort of buff out anything that you think, like you don't want to do it. You can go ahead and, wax over the top, and that will sort of like, you can buff it back any of those places that you think you maybe messed up on it. And putting the clear wax is just going to give it a seal, because that chalk paint, that spray paint that I use, it's not a seal. So I'm just using my surface wax. I have used the Waverly clear wax as well, but I like our surface wax more. It doesn't smell so bad. I've also, for furniture, for clear wax, I have used the car wax. That was what we used to use before everybody came out with their own clear wax, and it worked okay, but not as good as our surface wax. And really, I'm not using that much, so don't be afraid to kind of come at it and just use a little bit of wax. And it's very subtle. It just sort of brings out whatever projects you have done. It will also seal up what you've done a little bit so it doesn't come off, as I was talking about getting it on my neck. In fact, I told the girls, I'm like, make sure that I comb my hair before I go, because I was digging this morning in the ground. So I hope you all have a very wonderful, blessed Memorial Day weekend. Get together with your families, do maybe some work. I know it's not Labor Day weekend. Maybe get out in the big outdoors and get some projects done around the house, or do some camping. I'd love to hear what you all are doing. So let me know. And we are out. Go over. See Melanie. She just got done. She's going to start up over in the DIY Arts and Crafts room. Thank you so much. We'll see you soon.